Hey folks, Randy Gold, Trident Magnum Man with you here today. We're going to do a full review of the new Finetail Banshee 6'3" super ultralight rod. It's a fantastic rod. I took a chance on ordering this rod. I told myself a long time ago I wasn't going to order anything that wasn't high end anymore because I got disappointed with a couple of area trout rods, one from Daiwa and one from Palms, from the sensitivity on them. They were nice rods, they're beautiful rods. I wound up giving the Daiwa Premier away to a kid to introduce him to ultralight angling. I still have the Palm 6'4" extra ultralight, but it's a beautiful rod, and it casts great, it fishes good, but it's just a little bit dead in the sensitivity. And when I'm talking about sensitivity, folks, I'm talking about, I want sensitivity of high-end aging rods, high-end Maberu rods. And once you get used to that, you don't want to go back. You don't want to go down. And that's what happened when I ordered the Daiwa and the Palms rod. Now, you can get some area trout rods that have that sensitivity, but you're talking $400. You're talking like the Presso Limited AGS rod. There's some others. And of course, Major Craft also has its Finetail Banshee, which is no longer in production. It's an extremely sensitive rod, but it's $300. At this, I think today, this rod is selling for $167 delivered to your door. Sensitivity is off the charts on this rod. There's no doubt about it. It's just absolutely fantastic. Now, who this rod is for and what you would fish with it with, or what you would fish with it for, I'm sorry. It's a great bluegill rod, a great crappie rod. It can be a great Kentucky bass rod. It fished with nylon line. And the reason I say this, I fished for Kentucky bass with this rod with the ester monofilament. This rod, not having any more length than what it does, and being a fast rod, you just get into trouble with the ester line when you start hooking 15, 16-inch, even 14-inch Kentucky bass. It doesn't have the forgiveness that, say, a longer rod, the 6'7", 6'8", 6'9", 10, so on and so forth, would have. But for bluegill, shellcracker, crappie, it is superb. I'm here to tell you. For those of you who are looking for a JDM rod, you want the most sensitivity you can get, but yet you don't want to spend $300 on a rod. And still, I know, folks, $170 is a lot of money for a rod, but I haven't found anything that's going to equal this. They've done this with their blank, and they've done it. There's 9 guides on this rod. They're micro guides. They're the 3mm guides, as best I can spec them out. They're the Fuji SICK shallow inserts, or slim inserts as they're called, on Fuji stainless steel frames. This rod, if I didn't say, weighs 1.9 ounces, which is remarkable. It has a down-locking reel seat. It has cork on the rear of the reel seat. It has the EVA foam, the light EVA foam on the butt that's to hold down weight, and it's obviously doing that. It's just a fantastic rod. We're going to get a close-up of it here. I'm going to, get the camera where you can see the rod. It's a very beautiful rod with the burgundy thread, burgundy accents on the winding checks, burgundy ring on the reel butt, or I'm sorry, the rod butt. It's just a pretty rod, but it's a fantastic rod. It's so good that they've got several other models or several other rods in this lineup, but they don't go out to a 6'7", 6'8" rod. The Finetail Banshee went up to a 6'7". They don't have a rod that long here. 6'3" is the longest in the graphite series. You can get a glass rod at 6'4". It's partial glass, but that's as far as it goes as length. But I'm going to order me, probably before spring, I'm going to have me a 510 in this rod for bottom contact, vertical jigging. That's what it was designed for. This rod is rated for up to 4 pound test line. The lure rating is a half a gram to 3.5 grams. I have fished it with 3 grams. That's just feels very awkward. It's just a little bit much. 2 grams is fine. The sweet spot on this rod for me is 1.5 grams fishing with it. Of course, I've been fishing soft plastics with this rod. That's all I've used with it. I don't foresee myself throwing a new 3 gram blade bait with it, simply because it's probably too heavy a lure for this rod, really. And plus, I don't want to hook into any big smallmouth with this rod. It's just, of course you might do that when you're fishing anytime, but I'd rather not, put a lure on there that's going to ask for that. But as I said, it's great for bluegill and crappie. Just fantastic. If you want to purchase this rod, you will certainly not go wrong. That's a fact. So anyway, folks, we're going to now take a look at the bending curve on the rod using 130 gram, 4 and 5/8 ounce weight. Show you the bending curve, and we're going to take a close-up view of it. All right, we're looking at the bending curve on a 6'3" super ultralight area stage Major Craft fine tail, the new model. As you can see, this is 130 gram weight, 4 and 5/8 ounces. It's pretty flexible rod. There's no flat spots, but it gets into the meat of the rod pretty quick. This is a fast action rod. If it was sold here in the States, I guarantee you this would be considered an extra fast. But you can see, for you folks who boat lift fish with rods, with a rod like this, you can see just what a 4.5 ounce bluegill, the kind of pressure it puts on this rod. But this is the bending curve. There's no flat spots. It looks good. Guide spacing is correct. Everything looks really good with this rod. All right, folks, I just wanted to show you the balance on this rod. I have a Shimano Twin Power C2000 HGS reel on here. It balances perfectly. I mean, it balances great. I fished this rod also with a Daiwa Presso Limited 1025. It balances great. I fished it with a 1003 Daiwa Lugius. It balances great. But they're showing you some good balance there. Just feels real good with the reel on. Okay, folks, here's the real seat of the rod. You got a decorative trim ring here on the butt of the rod. It's burgundy. Then you have the cork here. You have another burgundy trim ring here. Then you have the reel seat, down locking reel seat, burgundy winding check. I hope you're getting this. I'll see how it goes. Rod, there's your first guide for a total of 9 guides. These other guides, when we get up here, you'll see they're very small, extremely small. It's just a fantastic rod. I'm hoping you can get some good video on this. I don't know how much of it's coming through as far as the colors. You can see the winding thread here. It's burgundy with silver accents. It's really pretty. Then you come out to the tip, which that's a 3mm tip. Quite small. Well, folks, there's the review of the rod. As best I could get it. I don't really have a room set up in my house to make it like a studio where I can put a background up and so on and so forth. I need to try to find some space to do that, but the house is 1,700 square foot, which is plenty big enough house, but to take one room and say that's going to be my camera room, I'm not sure my wife would go along with that. But anyway, if you're looking for a rod that is extremely sensitive, that you want to catch crappie and bluegill with, and of course you can catch your Kentucky bass, your white bass with this rod. I just don't recommend using ester monofilament for that purpose because you don't have the length of the rod to give you cushion when you're going to get on bigger fish. But it's an absolutely beautiful rod. It's worth every penny. And I always like to say when I'm talking about JDM rods, you don't need these rods to catch fish. This is what I do. It is no doubt the best of the best. to get a rod that's sensitive in the States, an ultralight rod, you would have to go up to the $400 new St. Croix ultralight they come out with the Torzite guides, titanium frames. It sells for, depending on where you buy it at, but in the state of Tennessee with tax and everything, it's $400. This rod, while I've not fished that rod, this rod is more sensitive than a G Loomis trout rod. It's more sensitive than any ultralight I've come across in any of the stores that they're selling now. It's just a fantastic rod. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. I know it's kind of a lengthy video and only the pure tackle junkies will probably watch this video, but that's okay. I'm going to get out and fish. Went to the crappie hole yesterday, as a matter of fact. The problem was the only thing in the crappie hole was skipjack by the thousands. You could have caught, I got tired of catching them. Don't want to do a video on catching skipjacks, that's for sure. If the crappie were down there, they couldn't get to it quick enough. I'm not even sure they were in there. It was just a ton of skipjacks in that little hole. But anyway, going to get back out starting Monday and Tuesday, see what I can get into. So thanks so much for watching. Appreciate the comments, appreciate the channel support. Soar Lip 'em all, and life is good.